Where does the legislative agenda go now? And are you expecting to do a second reconciliation package later on in the year?
We have long planned for at least 2, possibly 3 reconciliation bills, one in the fall and one next spring, that would continue to allow us to do this on a partisan basis where we only need Republican votes and we don't have to drag Democrats along. In addition to that, we will continue to get the country back on a path to fiscal responsibility by rescissions packages that will come from the White House and will enact and claw back spending and eliminate fraud, waste, and abuse in the multiple reconciliation packages and in appropriating at lower levels of funding. All these things will be done while we're codifying more of President Trump's executive order.
House Speaker Mike Johnson telling Maria more mega bills are expected this year, with the next one expected in the fall. I want to bring in Texas Congressman Pat Fallon. Congressman, I want to get your reaction to those comments from Speaker Johnson.
Oh, Cheryl, good morning. And yeah, absolutely. That has been the plan. We've been talking about it behind the scenes. And fact of the matter is, the Republicans are the only adults in the room when it comes to fiscal responsibility. We have it's changing every day, $36 trillion plus dollar debt. The service on that debt now is nearing $1 trillion, and we have got to turn that ship around. We've got to reduce our debt to GDP ratio, which is right now at an alarming about 123%. And it needs to be addressed, now. Cheryl, the Democrats aren't talking about this at all, and we need to be.
Well, what are you willing to cut? I mean, if there's going to be more cuts coming, rescissions package, reconciliation package, where are you comfortable? Because waste, fraud, and abuse is one issue, but let's be clear here, the Medicaid fight got pretty dark and pretty brutal.
Well, we don't want people that are on Medicaid that don't qualify, and that's part of the fraud, waste, and abuse, and that's part of it. But the other parts are, if somebody thinks that the federal government with 2+ million employees is working at maximum efficiency, I'll sell them a bridge in Brooklyn. And we need to demand that, and we can also do some cutting from just attrition within the federal workforce. And that's where we need to be looking, because we've been addicted as Americans, let's be really frank, with getting $1 worth of services and spending 80 cents on that. And that's just something that you're going to eventually have to pay the piper at some point, and you don't want to see us have to go, into something like along the lines what the EU, Ireland, Spain did when you have to really cut drastically.
Especially when you got $9 trillion rolling over the next year that has to be refinanced at high rates. Let me ask you about this. There's this new 30-page Senate report from the GAO, and it exposes the security lapses that were made by the Secret Service. Yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of President Trump's assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania. That report revealed that the Secret Service knew there was a threat 10 days before the rally. They didn't share any information with local and federal law enforcement. Congressman, you were a member of the Congressional Task Force that investigated all of this. What are the next steps? What else needs to happen so that this does not happen again, especially in the era we're in now? We find ourselves where there's more political violence.
Cyril, not only did the Secret Service not share this with other agencies, they didn't share it with President Trump's detail that Iran was, posed a dire threat to President Trump's life. He should have been receiving at that time, because it was a very unique circumstance. He was the former president. He was a nation state was trying to assassinate him for actions he took as president. And he was also the leading candidate to be the next president, which he is now. He should have had a security that was commensurate with a sitting U.S. president because of the unique nature of who he is, and the threat at that time. So what needs to happen moving forward is the leadership, of course, did change. Cheadle's gone, Roe's gone, and that's very important because it starts at the top. And you need to embrace technology. You need to change the training. There's cultural changes that need to be made, and they're starting to be made by Director Curran, and that's a very positive thing. But in embracing technology, if you remember, 2 weeks after the attempt in Butler, there was another attempt in Florida, and that fellow was laying in wait. That assassin was laying in wait for 12 hours. That should have never happened. If you had infrared technology, drones, robodogs, and even old-fashioned, good old sniffing, German shepherds, they would have literally sniffed him out within 20 or 30 minutes, not waiting for 12 hours. So there's a lot yet to be done.
Well, and I want to say your colleague in Texas, August Pfluger, along with Mike Kelly, it's a beautiful op-ed on FoxNews.com today that they've written. It says the stability of our great nation depends depends on preventing political violence. And they say history pivots on moments measured in millimeters, and that was July 13th, 2024. All right, so speaking of August Pfluger and the great state of Texas, there is more heavy rain threatening Central Texas today after that devastating and deadly flash flooding. 129 dead so far, and I know there's more missing. Crews are now going to resume rescue operations, but they had to put everything on hold because of the weather. And there's more storms today, Congressman. What is happening today, and where are we right now with recovery efforts?
Well, yeah, the recovery efforts were stalled, unfortunately, because of weather. But, you know, we need to really recognize that our first responders had the Herculean tasks in front of them, and they did fabulously. They saved, we did lose over 130 people, well, about 130 people right now, and there's still about that, a little bit more than that missing. And that just wrenches at your heart. 1,000 people were rescued during this. And it was something that was unprecedented. It happens every 1,000 years. I mean, that river rose 26 feet in 45 minutes. And I'm really glad that the Governor Abbott and President Trump were working seamlessly, because their professionalism, quite frankly, saved lives. It was unfortunate that some people tried to make this political, but we are going to go over. We're committed to the recovery efforts, as Governor Abbott said. We're not going to. We're leaving no stone unturned, and we really appreciate anybody you can donate with. If you go to communityfoundations.net, it'll go right to Central Texas and helping the communities that were impacted there.
Seeing the First Lady with those bracelets from Camp Mystic on her wrist on Friday was an incredible moment, and so was listening to President Trump and him offering condolences to the people there when he was on the ground in Kerrville. Congressman Pat Fallon, we continue to pray for the people of Texas, and Fox, of course, is supporting these efforts. Sir, thank you very much for being here.
Cheryl, thank you so much, and God bless. Take care.
God bless you too, sir.